Good evening, everyone. A little under the weather yesterday, a little stomach bug, so I didn't get a video up. And now that it's later at night the next day, I'm starting to feel better. And I really want to try to get a video up every day and help the channel grow because I really enjoy the comments from those of you that say how much my videos help, especially my, unique, unfiltered, uncut, just guy talking into microphone style because my stories, aren't embellished because frankly they need no embellishment, sadly. So I suggest if you haven't watched my video on the narcissist isn't your partner, they're your master video. It did pretty well, especially hasn't been up that long. But this video is going to expand on some of those ideas. So if you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. And even if you have, you should watch it again so it's fresh. So then this next video is going to build on that concept. And this video is about how the narcissist tries to control your reality. Now, as we know with narcissists and borderlines, everything in their world is about them. They are the center of the universe, and everybody else is essentially like a chess piece, a pawn for them to use and manipulate for whatever function they want that person to fulfill, but ultimately to serve their whim at the time. And the main classifications of people to serve the narcissist are, well, anybody that gives them supply, but they have their victims, the ones that they get their narcissistic supply from, the ones they like to control and keep down or exploit physically, sexually, what have you, to make them subservient to their will. And then, of course, there's the enablers and the flying monkeys, which aid the narcissist in getting their will, getting their supply, and keeping them from facing any repercussions. They're their minions. I don't like the term flying monkeys, given that I'm such a big fan of the Wicked Witch of the West and all. Anyway, so, that's a very generalized overview of the narcissist world. And in order to do this, the narcissist has to control the reality, the narrative of the people in their orbit, the people that are, more or less controlled or trying to be controlled by the narcissist. Because without that, the narcissist, can't control reality. If they can't control the reality, if they can't control the narrative, then their world falls apart. It essentially is a house of cards. Two of the scariest things to a narcissist or a borderline: truth, of course, but more so, free will. Free will is terrifying to a narcissist because they can't control that person. And they have to crush that belief within them. They have to make them, believe things like, well, it could always be worse or it's not that bad kind of thing. And that'll be a separate video because a narcissist sometimes in desperation will admit like, well, some of this is kind of fucked up, but this person has it worse, so it's not that bad. And we'll get into broken is broken in another video. But the narcissist wants to control the reality in order to achieve whatever their end game is and then perpetuate the status quo of whoever their victims are at the time being completely subservient to their will and having enough, enablers and flying monkeys to ensure that it continues, because there's other things narcissists fear too. As I said, free will, but if there's somebody within the orbit of their main victims who has free will or isn't afraid to call a narcissist out or knows about narcissism and BPD, knows the narrative, dealt with it, been through it, that person must be slandered and destroyed at all costs. As I said, watch my narcissistic tactics slander video because, well, I was that person a few months ago in a very messed up situation. I briefly mention it now because I just remembered something. I'm like, how did they know? How did, it's like, how did this narcissist, well, technically, how did this borderline know that I was that much of a threat? And I just remembered that when I was out, before things went real bad, the day before things went real bad, I was out on a date with the borderline's target. And I showed her the channel. Yeah, because I don't show people in my life really that this channel exists, but I showed this girl because we had deep conversations and had, similar types of mothers. And I'm like, oh, you need to know about this kind of stuff. And especially the ENFJ videos, because she's an ENFJ. But yeah, I told her about the channel. And I just came to me. It's like, wow, if the borderline saw this channel and watched any of my videos, it's like, yeah, yeah, they'd have to be like, well, for my plans to be fulfilled, this must be destroyed at all costs, because, he knows, like, he knows what I am. So that just came to mind, and I guess I felt like mentioning it. But the narcissist or the borderline must control the reality of their targets, of their victims. And what I mean by that is they not only have to control the obvious of what they do, who they talk to, where they go, and trying to be at their side at all times. Because narcissistic parents will do the same thing. Like, no, you believe the politics, I believe. You believe the religion, I believe. You believe that, like, high school culture and cliques and all that are important, like I believe. Stuff like that. Stuff to eliminate your own sense of personality, your own free will, your own wants and desires of what you want out of life, to get you to fall in line with whatever the narcissist has planned for you. And whatever they have planned for you is, in its end game, to serve the narcissist and feed their supply. And like I said, that can come in many different ways. The narcissistic parent will want, they'll go for that whole, you're an extension of me, and, look, the kid did all the important things that I think are important, and that shows how great I am, because it's like, Letterman's jackets and all that crap are super important, and who he's banging and who he's taking the prom and all that. Or a narcissistic partner, well, they want complete control and subservience. They want their target, their partner, that they're their master, to have no free will, to basically, for the narcissist, they want the narcissist to be their whole world, to have that person exist only to be that narcissist's essentially caretaker and whore, to put it bluntly. But that's what they want, and they want to isolate that person as much as they can, to where they feel like they have no one but the narcissist. And the narcissist will be at their side as much as possible to first eliminate any potential threats, but then, to isolate and push away people that could later become threats. But the obvious threats must go first. That can't be done over time. They must be destroyed as quickly and as brutally as possible by any means necessary. Because the most offensive thing to a narcissist who's trying to control their target's reality is free will, is the idea of the target standing up for themselves, or having somebody that they trust letting them know, like, this is messed up. Like, you don't understand. This is wrong, but you don't understand how wrong this is. Some, like, channels like mine, channels like Ollie Matthews, outlets where people who when they first discover this stuff know something's wrong, but I don't know how to put it in the words. But I know this is wrong, but you don't know how wrong it is and just how sick it is. But when you find channels like this and you learn, then not only do you know how wrong it is, not only do you know what the narcissist is trying to do to you, but you learn, at least to a degree, how to deal with it. And that, that sense of free will, that sense of, I'm my own person, I don't care what you want, drives the narcissist insane, because they truly, truly believe that they have every right to control their victims. If they choose someone, once they choose someone, like, oh, you exist to serve me, be it as, my lackey sidekick, or, my relationship, because I do that because narcissists only love themselves. Everybody else is just there to serve their whim until they tire of them. They don't care, narcissists in a relationship don't care about what their partner wants or needs, or, is ultimately looking for as their end game in life. They just care about that person being completely subservient to their will, and not saying no to whatever the narcissist wants, no matter how depraved. Because the narcissist only loves themselves, and their delusions of grandeur make them feel as if they are so great, they are so deserving, that no matter how they treat people, they are entitled to it, because they're them, and the target is, should be grateful that they're being graced with their, almighty great presence from on high, kind of thing. So the narcissist has to control the person's reality, and that can manifest in different ways. In a when you're a young child, the narcissist parent will try to drill into you, this is what's important in life, and this is what you must believe. And I gave you examples of it, but it can be minuscule things like play this sport and that. Like they're trying to create, the perfect reflection of themselves, relive their glory days child. And, in a similar matter, the narcissist the person who's in a relationship with a narcissist, they want that partner essentially to never say no to whatever the narcissist wants, and to not have anybody in their life that could pull them away from the narcissist, or especially expose the narcissist. So they want to control who that person interacts with at all times. And they'll do this. They'll do things that, are, most people would be like, that's crazy. Like if the target is getting close to somebody else, the narcissist will have no problem ripping their phone out of their hand and taking it from them and telling off the person on the other end of their phone. Or, entering the target's place of residence and refusing to leave until the person that the target is talking to is cut out of their life. And that's, in addition to like the normal, like stuff that all narcissists do, like the threats and the epic stare downs and trying to paint the other person as a villain for simply, not acknowledging that the narcissist owns their target. And that's how the narcissist truly feels. They feel they own people. When they feel they own you, there are no boundaries, none. Whatever they want to do to you in their twisted minds is fair game. And whoever they have to destroy along the way, or even who gets hurt as collateral damage simply for trying to stay neutral, not bending their will, they see that as fair game. They are ruthless. Narcissists and borderlines are ruthless, there we go, when they are trying to control somebody's reality. And they'll destroy people's jobs. They'll destroy people's, grades if they're if they're still in academics at that stage in your life. They don't care. That what the narcissist, when I say they want to control the reality, the end game reality they're going for is that they want the target to go, wow, I'm so lucky to be with you, narcissist. Wow, I don't know what I would do without you. You clearly make all the decisions right. So you make all my decisions from now on, and I'll just go along with it and do whatever you want, whenever you want, go where you want, talk to who you want, and form my life around pleasing you. That is the end game, and that is the reality that the narcissist is trying to manifest for their target. And the same token with narcissistic parents, they want the child to essentially only exist to please the narcissistic parent, and to be that perfect, like straight A's, captain of the football team, dating the cheerleader, involved in the community, Mr. Popular, Mr. Social kind of person. It's similar to the narcissistic partner, just without the sexual exploitation. But anybody who has free will, and anybody who tries to encourage the target of a narcissist to invoke their own free will and to say, this is wrong, this is narcissism, this is BPD, just basically saying what it is, must be destroyed at all costs, first and foremost. Because a lot of narcissists, even in this day and age, don't know how much the jig is up, that channels like mine and far more professional and successful ones more so are out there, that these resources are out there, that their tactics are known. It's not what it was like when I was growing up in the 90s, when there was no YouTube and really not much was known about cluster B personality disorders in general. The information's out there, and that's why this channel exists. So you can have validation if this resonates with you, and I'm sorry if it does, but if you've been there, you need validation that what you went through was fucked up. I needed validation, when I first stumbled across channels like this. and to help others not go through what we went through. Because now, if somebody feels like, I think this person's a narcissist trying to control me, they can find videos like this, listen to this nobody aging pretty boy run his mouth and be like, that's exactly what's happening. And then look up at more successful channels and be like, holy shit, that's what this is. I know what it is and I know how to deal with it now. We didn't have that option, 15, 20 years ago. So hopefully these videos are helping. But understand, yes, the narcissist wants to control their target's entire reality and they feel entitled to do it. And that's why I mentioned that other video earlier, because it's important to watch that first. But the idea of free will, the idea of people making their own decisions when the narcissist has chosen you to be a target or a flying monkey or an enabler is so offensive to them. And especially the borderline, that will send them off into that manic rage like that. Simply just saying like, no, like I don't care what you want. Like, that's not your call. Like a borderline will get into somebody's face being like, I said you can't talk to this person. And be like, the fuck said to you? That kind of thing. That sends them into a rage because they truly believe they can walk up to whoever they want and be like, I say you can't talk to this person and therefore you must bend to my will. Don't you know who I am? Well, why? Because I said so. Yeah, or you can't talk to this person, or this will be more to our target. You can't talk to this person. They're bad. How are they bad? I just know. Yeah, and most of you sadly probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why this information needs to be out there. So remember, if you think you're dealing with a narcissist or a borderline, I suggest you trust your intuition. Do your own research, watch my videos, watch better videos, see if the pattern lines up. If the pattern's there, then you have to trust your intuition that it's somebody you want to get away from. And remember this, those of you that are new to this that think you may be the target of a narcissist, if you know someone in your life who talks about narcissism, borderline personality disorder, maybe runs a channel like mine, that person is very much inclined to help you because, we've been there. We know what we're talking about. We're trying to help others. If once you seek that person out, that person will help you. You should probably meet with that person in private because if the narcissist sees their target with somebody that like they knows about narcissism, then the real crazy shit comes out because that's a danger to them controlling the reality of their target. And that is most important to them. And that's what they will do at all costs. Whoever has to be destroyed will be destroyed. So remember, call out the narcissist. Once they're exposed, they can't hide. And more people are finding out who they truly are. Yes, narcissists and borderlines, you cannot run from who you truly are. Mask off.